right, beautiful ones. Okay, give me a moment. I'm just about to head on um, to Instagram to make sure that everything is up. Just so you guys know, like I usually go live inside this beautiful group, and I also pop into Instagram, but I don't save them on Instagram. So if you want to catch the replay, it's absolutely right inside the collective. You're in the right place, basically. Okay? Whoo, all right. If you're here, say hello. And if you are watching on the replay, say hello as well. As always, I am loving the connection we have forged here. The beautiful energy that you bring to this space is just incredible. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And before I dive right in, if you haven't heard, I have just announced a pre-sale for Priestess of Tea, which is a 2-month pilgrimage, and a lot of you have been asking questions about it. So I'm going to quickly talk about it before I dive into the topic of the day, which is dismantling the survivorship complex, which is something really close to my heart after what I've gone through in my own life, and how you can really turn around and consciously live your life in flow of creativity and abundance instead of always chasing after something, because nothing ever feels good long enough. Okay, so before that, let's dive into Priestess of Tea, which I am so excited for. It is something that's been coming for a long time. I've always wanted to run a really comprehensive tea course in my experience of communing with tea spirit. Now, I am a ceremonial keeper of Cha Dao, or in English, the way of tea. And my experience was mind-blowing. My latest post has some stories on how I met tea and how my life completely transformed after I met tea spirit, and I was asked to really go out and share and serve tea. And my work, the underpinning medicine, is literally tea ceremony and all the beautiful teachings and embodied way of living that comes from this way of learning, the way of living, because it isn't a way until it is being lived. And my intention in launching this program, and actually it's such a beautiful divine intention that came through spirit as well, is to really give you the tools to cultivate a daily practice and a sacred space in your own home, so that you can truly live in ceremony every single day. You're gonna learn how to commune and work with plant spirit medicine through Cha Dao. You're gonna get in-depth classes about tea. You know, I'm not gonna teach you how to drink and suss out what's a great tea, because there's so much more stuff going on into it. There are the essences of Zen, there are also essences of Buddhism and Taoism, and then there is the universal aspects of how to move with the life force of the cosmos, and how we embody, this is the key to my teachings, how do we embody that serenity, how do we embody that harmony that tea has with nature and the Tao being the universe, right? And so it is a very affordable price right now at the pre-sale special price, which I am going to open up for 10 spots only. So it's going to be first come, first serve. The details are right in the description box. And it is only at £2,999 right now if you pay in full. A payment plan is available. Just DM me if you want to, if you want to pay in 2 installments, because it's the 2-month pilgrimage. Please DM me, we can talk about that. Everyone is absolutely welcome. You don't need to be someone who knows tea to join this. If you feel the whispers of tea, you've got it. Yeah, the tea spirit always calls to you. She calls to those who are ready to join. So really, I am speaking to your highest self. This is not something I want you to come into because you're scared and you need this or whatever. I really want you to come in because you want to. because you want to lead yourself into a life that is truly embodied, because you want to lead yourself into a life that is truly in harmony with abundance, freedom, and joy, and living, to the fullest of being who you are. Yeah. And so Priestess of Tea, 2-month pilgrimage, that is that. If you haven't joined yet, I highly recommend this as like a prelude to my world, because it's going to be very intense on tea itself. However, if you want a little bit more in terms of just being in the element of living on purpose, in your authentic power, you want that divine support, that will be either a one-to-one mentorship, and it will be the Siren Goddess. So you can always DM me and we can talk about that. Okay, I think we have that out of the way. I have a 2-day free embodied experience coming up as well, Woman Forged in Magic. If you haven't signed up, like, well, what are you waiting for? It's free. It's going to be epic. I'm going to give you so much juicy stuff in there. I'm not holding back anything. It's not a pitch salesy kind of masterclass. It's going to be full of action and amazing experience and details and just all of those things that really move me in my world to become the next level version of who I am, and how I work with my clients as well, in terms of leading them back to a place where they can feel empowered enough to mobilize what they already have in their lives and feel in harmony with their own vortex of stillness. Okay, so everyone, if you're joining me, hello again. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your time, because time is currency and I never ever take that for granted. So today we're going to talk about survivorship complex, and I kind of called it that because it came out that way when I was channeling the transmission. I want to talk about your baseline way of living. I want to talk about your authentic power and versus circumstantial power. This is something my mentor talks a lot about. And she calls it personal power versus circumstantial power, but I would like to say authentic power, because that is my basis of doing the way I do my work. Okay, so how do we hold the tension of polarity? Because we are humans, right? But we are actually cosmic beings having a human experience. And when we actually walk and live and embody that version of us, we are actually learning to raise our vibrational frequency by embracing the darkness in us, the parts that feel not so adequate, the parts that we feel ashamed of, the parts that we feel a little bit guilty about. That is how we raise our vibrational frequency. I know it's something that's being thrown around a lot in the spiritual community, but I've not seen anything that really sticks until I saw this. Really embracing what exactly that is going on in us that doesn't feel very serene, that feels a little bit icky, a little bit gnarly, and we don't actually need to even go into the head to do this. The way I work with my clients, we get into embodiment practices, we get into ceremony, so that we receive the guidance from the universe and the spirits, and especially plant spirit in the form of tea. Tea becomes a medicine for the heart and calms the mind only when we are open to receiving tea as a medicine. That is why not everyone who drinks tea has the same kind of revelations and the same kind of serenity and harmony and engagement with that plant. And of course, if you join Priestess of Tea, you will learn more about what kinds of tea we're actually working with. We are talking about tea that is literally from the spiritual and ancestral lands of tea, not just any tea grown in anywhere in the world. Plants coming from their own home has an expression, like any plants really, to be honest, they are an expression of the terroir that they have been growing in. And so that leaf carries everything about that tree, everything. The tree takes in the surroundings, and that leaf takes in everything about the tree. the leaf, truly. And so when we ingest that, we are opening up that element in us to be at one with the universe, because it's taking in all the heaven and earth elements, and we are bringing it into our body, and we are becoming one with that. And that's super powerful. So when we are in a baseline way of living in survivorship complex, a lot of times we forget that we are actually cosmic beings. We live in survivorship because maybe like me, you have come from a background of having survived certain things. You know, for me, my body had taken a really huge toll because of my anorexia. And my body is still recovering from those days. I spent 10 years in anorexia, not loving myself, not seeing myself at all, feeling truly abandoned. My abandonment wound runs really deep. And sometimes it still comes up. It does. And whenever it comes up, I know that it is an indication, it is an invitation from the universe to dance with the universe, so that I can get that sense of, okay, like how can I grow from this? How can I live through this to tell this story and become a teaching for others, so that they can collapse time. They don't have to go through all of those things unconsciously, right? And so it was it took me a while to realize this, because I was going through life in a way where I was just, you know, like I've come a long way. I've recovered. My body feels great, and yes, there are some parts of the body's functions that still needs recuperating. I'm patient with that. I sit with my inner child. I sit with my ancestors. I sit with tea, and then I realized one day that, gosh, like I'm playing really quite small. And I kind of dug deeper into myself to ask myself why I felt that way. And the closest thing I could even tell you to describe how that felt was basically like, I feel like I'm playing really safe. Like there are lots of things that I want to do, but then I'm conscious, I'm aware of my brain saying, what if it doesn't work? Let's not do that. And so I started to tap in, and I realized that it's actually a survivorship complex. It's actually something that is keeping me in a quote unquote safe space, so that my nervous system doesn't get into another frazzled situation where it's like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm so stressed out, and I'm gonna fight this, I'm gonna run away, I'm gonna freeze. All of these things, right? The fight, flight, freeze response. And so I sat with tea in ceremony, and I also reached out for sacred support from my sisters, and I really shared what was going on with me. And you know, in moments when I really, really felt it coming up, I could feel my entire world turning pitch black. Like it was darkness, complete darkness. And so I really needed to journey deep into this, because I knew that this is a fucking big up level is coming for me. I can't ignore it. And I've learned in my life, just like I teach my clients, not to ignore things like that, but to fully embrace that and go into the unknown, knowing that the void is exactly where we need to be to create the next phase in our lives. And stillness, honestly, it is found in not needing to know. Stillness is found in not needing to know. And I found that stillness in me because I surrendered. I was like, I don't need to know everything. I just want to be here. And I want to feel safe in the unknown. Guide me, give me a sign. When I'm ready, I will be able to perceive it. And I know in my world, divine timing, when I'm ready, these words is not about mentally saying, well, when I'm ready, I'll feel it. When I'm ready is actually becoming an energetic match for that up level. And it's a choice. That is why I want to talk about survivorship complex today, because it is very easy for me to just say, that is my past. That is going to define me. Abandonment wounds, anorexia, friends leaving me, feeling lonely, feeling unloved. I didn't love myself. I hated my body. I self-flagellated. I could choose to say, that is defining me. That is why I'm being so defensive. That is why I'm playing small. That is all these things. I could say that. Hello, beautiful ones. If you're joining me, I can't really see, but I can see a little eye that says you're here. So say hello if you're here. So I could easily choose to say that is going to define me my entire life, and I'm going to walk with that energy of being wronged and being wrong and being unloved all my life. Or I could choose to see that I'm actually going to say, that is my past. Yes, I acknowledge that fully. I embrace that fully. And I choose at every conscious moment of my day now forward that this is not going to define me. I have big dreams. I have a mission. I want every woman to be served from the heart, not coerced to do a program with me, but actually led and inspired by the way I live, so that they can be turning up at my doorstep in their highest self and say, I want to join you and build this incredible future for women. Let's do this together. I want to live on purpose in my own authentic power, not by circumstantial power where my circumstance gives me the advantage to live the way I want to live. I want to have authentic power because I know if I have that authentic power, I can find stillness in me anytime, no matter what my circumstance looks like. No matter if I haven't seen the evidence of how I desire my life to be, I already know I've got there because I have the authentic power in me. And I can only do that when I choose to say, those things that happen to me, I am not a survivor. I'm a creator. I'm a creatrix of my life. I didn't just survive. I'm thriving. And I want to continue thriving, not just surviving, not just saying like, yeah, I survived that. Yeah, I'm so brave. Yes, yes, yes. And keep feeding off that, because that means that my energy would be like somebody who is like, oh, I stopped learning because that is enough for me now. I want to be evolving. I want to keep unlearning so that I can learn new things. That is evolution. Evolution over a lifetime. And that really gives me a bigger purpose. Because now I know that it isn't about a certain time frame that if I get there and then that's where I am, that's who I am. That's circumstantial. Big dreams take time. Big dreams need us to keep going even when we don't see the evidence of why we need to keep going. And that survivorship complex was the one thing that was keeping me so small and so boxed in and thinking like somebody who's so afraid of being hurt again, so afraid of failing again. These are mental stories. And yes, when you learn to integrate mind, body, and spirit, you learn to work with this fullness, your faculties, the fullness of your faculties, everything you have, you can make them work for you to the fullest. So yeah, if you're disconnected from your body, you're not hearing the language of your soul. If you are attached to your mind, then you are playing really small because you are letting your mind run the show of your life. You're not taking back your creatrix power. You're living in circumstantial power, even if you feel like, oh yes, I have power, but what if these things are taken away from you? Does that make you anything less? If you don't have the things that make you feel powerful today, right? I've come a long way from that place, and I will always remember and feel gratitude for that journey that's taken me here today. But I've got eyes on really big things, and I need to play in the field of that cosmic version of who I am, because that is where I take that source energy, the cosmic transmissions that are coming through me, that are channeling through me. It's bigger than this human version that you're seeing. And I want to allow that to come in fully. I want to allow that magic to flow through fully. And my wish is that the women who follow me, the women who come and learn with me, they can see and feel this energy and embody that and know that it's already in them. They just need to allow themselves to embody this thing so that their presence can speak for themselves. A lot of times we don't really need to explain anything. Our presence says everything. We've got to learn to hold the polarity, the tension of being heaven and earth. It is so important for us to understand this, because we tend to either think we want to run away into the sky, or we're so grounded, we're so stuck in our scarcity, we're so stuck in like, oh my god, that is like $40, like that's too much, but I really, really want it. Oh, I don't know. Oh god. Come back to your highest self. Your highest self always knows exactly what it is that you need. And that want, I always say that when you want something and your higher self is like, oh my god, and then your body is feeling like, yes, but your mind is going like, oh my god, what the hell are you doing? Why are you doing this again? You shouldn't be spending money on this. Then I know I'm gonna go for it. Because that is me on the leading edge. Oh, Elizabeth, you're here. Mwah. I love seeing you. I love you so much, dear heart. Elizabeth is one of my clients, and she is in my Siren Goddess mentorship. Every week we have just amazing revelations, and last week we did this amazing thing which I shared in my social media, that she literally told me like she joined the Siren Goddess because it is a commitment to her. This is a commitment to yourself. This is what a self-leader does. She's not doing it because someone said she should. She's not doing it just to be a better woman for a husband or her daughter or whatever, her children. She's doing it for herself. And I want that for you too. Every woman needs to learn to commit to herself first and foremost, because otherwise it is only merely circumstantial power that you're holding, not authentic power. Oh, Elizabeth, tired and dark today, yeah. Keep believing in more for you. Keep opening up that channel. Keep letting more in. Let more in. For me, I always need to check in. If I don't feel on point, I would always ask myself, like, am I asking for permission to live from something? It could even be money most of the time for all of us. It's like, am I asking money for permission to live? It shouldn't be that way. We should have power over our wealth, our abundance, our freedom, our vision, because we are the creatrix. We create this. What's really, 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 really important to understand that why we're not seeing it reflected in our lives is because there's that need to be embodied. Embody that frequency, like you're born with it. You're born to have it. And yeah, it's something that you can't just intellectually grasp, right? You gotta get into this. Gotta get into the feeling. Gotta get in here. And the survivorship complex is a deep conditioning. I just wrote something today on my social media because I was like so fired up. No means no. Don't have to explain it. In my world, you come to me, you say no, fair enough, done. Don't have to tell me, oh, I can't because I'm on my menstrual cycle. I don't know. I need to ask my husband. I need to check with my bank. I need to. No. And for me, it doesn't cancel you out at all. It just means that we're not a vibrational match right now. And if you need to say no right now, I respect that. You don't have to tell me your cat puked on your food or whatever. Okay? And I think I said that because I wanted more women to say no, full stop. Because this is one of the leading reasons why more men are the richest and most powerful leaders than women. We care. We are born to care. But we've got to care for ourselves first, so that we give from an overflow. I tell this to my clients all the time. We've got to learn to give from overflow, not from scarcity, not from fear, not from validation. Yes, Elizabeth, I'm so excited for that too. We're going deep into the Dark Goddess exploration in the Siren Goddess, and yes. So yes, my loves, if you all missed it in the beginning, I did talk a little bit about the pre-sale for Priestess of Tea. But if you're like Elizabeth, you want to dive deep into this kind of beautiful inner work, the Siren Goddess is probably more for you, in which case you can DM me and let's chat. And we can talk about that. But Priestess of Tea is very straightforward. You want to jump in, pay in full or payment plan. I'll send a personalized link to you and you're in. 10 spots only. And we start in October. So it's going to be super exciting. Elizabeth, yes. Cat puked on my computer. Cat puked on my laptop. I can't sign up right now. I'm so sorry. Like, no need. If you don't feel right now, you're very welcome to come back when you feel ready. And I don't know what's going to be launched in the future, right? I'm just sharing information I know right now, right? So we have that mutual respect. It's like, yes, it's a yes, no, it's a no. And when you say yes, for heaven's sake, stick to your words. Have honor for your yes. When you say yes, you're excited. When you say yes, you're like, I'm ready to go all in. I'm ready to walk on the edge. I'm ready to discover more of myself. Like that's the kind of desire I want you to fan into big flames in you, because we're meant to do big things. Like I don't want this to just be a program where you take and then you're like, okay, all right, bye. I don't want this to be something where you feel codependent on me either. It's a co-creation. And so your no is a no and your yes is a yes. That's it. Right? You are highly intelligent. And I want to just attract women who are intelligent enough to make self-led decisions. That's it. And if you feel that you have that survivorship complex that is holding you back and making you play really small, then let's have a chat. Let's have a little chat about where you're at right now. Okay? And see if it's a safe space for you. Okay, my loves. I am sending you so much love. Don't let the cat puke on your foot, Elizabeth. I'm so delighted to see all of you again. Very grateful for all of you connecting with me and spending time listening to me, because honestly, time is currency. I value time over anything else. And you know, I always say money collapses time for you. Time is really precious. So I thank you so much. I love you all. And I send you so much tea, love, and joy. Big kisses, and I'll see you another time.